everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review. And today's review is in association with MarvelousNews.com, your #1 news source for everything Marvel. And for today's review, we're going to be taking a look at the new Walgreens exclusive first appearance Daredevil Marvel Legends Infinite Series figure from Hasbro. Now this figure comes in similar packaging we see with the other Marvel Legends Infinite Series figures. You've got the Daredevil logo up top, you've got the figure clearly displayed along with the accessories, and then you have the Infinite Series logo down below along with the name of the character. Though it just says Daredevil as opposed to first appearance Daredevil. On the sides we have some artwork, it's the same on both sides, and then on the back we have a look at the figure with a brief bio in multiple languages, and then we have a look at some of the other figures released in the more recent wave of Spider-Man Infinite Series Legends figure. Okay, so let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside of the packaging. Now, as I mentioned before, this is a Walgreens exclusive figure. It is available on their website now. I don't know if it's hit any of their actual physical stores. I checked a few stores around me and they had not come in yet, but I suspect they should be coming in any day now. The website actually says that the stores have them in stock, but they haven't actually arrived, again, at least at my local stores. The computer, I think, jumped the gun a little bit, but they should be there any day now, if not already. I ordered this on Friday morning, and it arrived today is Sunday, so it only took 2 days to get to me. So, and last time I checked, it was still available online. So, you know, if you don't want to have to search around or don't have a Walgreens near you, then I would highly recommend you just go online and pick this thing up. So this is based on Daredevil's very first costume, which is yellow and brown. Not a huge fan of this costume personally. You know, this, and whenever I see it, I always think of the character D-Man, which was a character that appeared later on in Captain America comics, and he was like an ex-wrestler dude, and he had pretty much very similar to this costume, though he had a mask that looked more like Wolverine than Daredevil, but that's what I always think of. So if you're a customizer and you're a fan of that D-Man character, you could probably make a nice custom from this figure, you know, for that. The paint applications are okay for the most part. I got a few nicks on the D, on the red on the D. You can see some black nicks, and then I've got a little bit of bleeding down here on the lower part of the yellow near the boot. You can see a little bit of bleeding there on both legs, but otherwise the yellow is pretty solid on this figure, which is actually a lot of the figures I've come across, the Marvel Legends figures that have yellow, you know, you tend to see that bleeding a lot more, so it's not really that bad at all in this figure, just that little lower part near the brown part on his boot. The figure is just yellow with the brown, and he's got red. Now this is just a repaint. This figure is just a repaint of the Daredevil figure that we recently got in the Spider-Man Legends line. So this is just a simple repaint, same sculpt and everything. Real quick, going back to the paint applications, I do want to point out on his neck, on the hinge joint on his neck, the yellow is a little bit brighter yellow than the rest of the yellow on the neck. It doesn't really stand out unless you have him looking up, but just wanted to point that out. And also, I noticed another little nick on the brown part near his wrist. You can see some yellow. I think I maybe scratched that off when I was posing it around, but did want to point that out as well. And he's got good skin tone, and he's got the red painted on the eyes, so that looks pretty good. Now the figure comes with the same accessory. It comes with the Billy Club accessory like that other Daredevil figure, and it's made with that same kind of rubberized type material. These are painted red as opposed to white, but they fit together just like on the other one, and then they fit on this little holster on the side of his leg that he has. Now the other accessory that this figure comes with, which I actually think makes this figure worth getting, is this alternate head of Matt Murdock without his mask. Now he's got the red sunglasses on. Face sculpt I think looks pretty good with this. Now I do think the hair's maybe a little red. I thought Matt Murdock had more blonde hair than red hair. It's been a while since I've read Daredevil, but I thought he had more blonde. But the hair on this head sculpt is definitely a more red color than blonde. He has a little bit of bleeding of the red on the skin tone on his forehead, but nothing too major. I like the glasses. I think the glasses look really good. So with the head, you just pop off the Daredevil head, and you pop on the Matt Murdock head. and it's a little bit of a tight fit, but you can get it on there. Now, again, I'm not a huge fan of this costume, so the head for this particular figure doesn't do much for me. But the thing I like about this head is for two reasons. So first of all, if you have that red Daredevil costume, then this alternate head will work on that as well. So and I actually think it looks better on this figure. Again, a little bit tight, but you can get it to pop on there. So you get your maskless Matt Murdock Daredevil figure with the red costume if you have that figure. So I definitely like that, and I think it looks good. The other thing this head will work on, I think, with the red sunglasses, if you own the Marvel Now Cyclops figure and you wanted a maskless Scott Summers figure, I think this head works pretty well with that. And again, it fits on this body, so with the red sunglasses, it definitely has a Scott Summers look to it. So I definitely like that. Hair color again is, I think, a little bit off, though probably more accurate for Scott Summers than Matt Murdock in my opinion. But either way, I think it comes off looking pretty good for the most part. So the figure stands just a hair under 6.5 inches tall. Again, is the exact same height as that regular Daredevil figure. And articulation, again, exactly the same as the regular Daredevil, but I'll go over it real quick. So the head's on a ball hinge joint, so he can look left and right, and he's got pretty good up and down movement. You can get his arms all the way out, attached with ball hinge joints at the shoulder. He's got good rotation. Has the bicep swivel, double hinged elbow, so he's got good bending at the elbow. Swivels at the wrist, and he's got the hinges on the wrist, so he's got up and down movement. And the hands are sculpted so he can hold the billy clubs in either hand. He's got the midsection crunch joints so he can crunch down, and he can crunch up pretty good. He's got a waist swivel. Yeah, he's got a waist swivel. Ball joints for the legs. He can do the splits about that much. He can get his leg forward about that much, and he can do his leg out and back like that. He's got the thigh swivel, double jointed knees, so he's got good bending at the knee. He's got the swivel at the boot cuff, and then he's got the ankle pivots. So he's got good movement there at the feet, and then 2 peg holes on the bottom of his feet. Okay, so that's my review. Overall, the thing that makes this figure for me is the alternate head, the maskless alternate head, because I think it works better for the regular Daredevil figure as well as the Scott Summers figure. But if you're a fan of this costume, I think this is a pretty nice looking figure. I think the paint applications for the most part are pretty solid. And I think they did, even though this is a repaint of the regular Daredevil figure, I think they've done a good job of capturing the overall likeness of this costume. So again, if you're a fan of that first appearance Daredevil, then I think this is definitely one that you will want to add to your collection. So it is available definitely on Walgreens website now, and if it hasn't started hitting the physical stores, it should any day now. We'll have a full gallery of images up at marvelousnews.com. There's a link in the description below, and as always, leave a comment, let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe, and until next time, I'll catch you later.